There are more details now on the deletion of the Mexican tourist in Provenza. Let's jump into the story right away. Follow along.
You're watching dcbornrob, Racing Borders. And now, news.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. You're watching DC Born Rob, Racing Borders. I'm DC Rob. I have another story from El Colombiano. They seem to be the ones that are on top of this story. It's in other publications, but minimal information. This seems to be the source for this story. So let's just jump into the details, or more details, should I say, of this story. The victim had arrived in Medellin last Friday, accompanied by other Mexicans with the idea of getting to know the city, as if they had been warned hours before that he was going to have lunch at a certain restaurant in the Provenza sector. The murderers of the Mexican Horacio Pérez Ledesma, 54, were waiting for him for more than 20 minutes. As soon as they saw that he was settling down at one of the tables, they approached the establishment with their motorcycle, and the passenger got off to delete him. The deletion of this foreigner occurred at 3:40 p.m. this Sunday at the commercial establishment on Calle 8 with Carrera 35 in El Poblado, with 8 wounds, 2 in the arm, 2 in the back, 3 in the spine, and 1 more in the abdomen. This man was transferred by units of the Metropolitan Police to the Medellin Clinic in El Poblado. There he was rushed into surgery as he still had vital signs. But in the middle of the procedure, he developed complications and passed there at 6:30 p.m. on Sunday due to the severity of the injuries suffered. The authorities immediately made a lockdown plan with the support of the LPR cameras throughout the Escobar Valley. They began to search for this motorcycle and a private car, which were accused of participating in the crime. Through these surveillances outside the Diatriz Stadium in Itagüí, units of the Metropolitan Police captured the Venezuelan Johan Tobar Ponceleon, 29 years old, and was heading towards the district of San Antonio de Prado in Medellin. According to the police report, the physical and morphological characteristics and clothing matched those of the person who was driving the same motorcycle in the events where the victim was injured. Minutes later, at kilometer 500 of the Las Palmas variant at the toll booth, the officers intercepted a Renault Logan with Bogota license plates, with which they had indicated was involved in the incident. There, they managed to capture Antonio Rafael Herrera Escobar, born in Romolino, Magdalena, 29 years ago, who lived in Bogota and had been in Medellin for a few days. This man, a construction worker, is indicated for a homicide that occurred on June 15th of this year. The arrest of Johan Fabio Prada Rico, 42, who was driving this particular car and who had also arrived from the capital of the country in recent days, was also achieved. This man, who works in Bogota as a taxi driver, has annotations in the oral accusatory penal system for prison escape, July 31st, 2020, receiving stolen goods on August 9th of 2019 and February 18th, 2018, domestic violence July 11th, 2014, and theft October 17th, 2015. In none of these 3 arrests was there a firearm in which the crime was perpetrated found. It is expected that in the next few hours, the 3 defendants will be presented before a judge of guarantees, where they will be charged with the crime of aggravated homicide. The authorities have not yet announced the motive for this crime, but initially they have ruled out theft, since the person who fired the firearm did not say a word or ask for his belongings from the deceased or his 3 companions who were unharmed at the attack. Metropolitan Police Commander General Oscar Andres Lambrera explained that theft is ruled out. According to the investigations, they never saw him being threatened in an attempt to steal. Apparently, it was a settling of scores, but we do not know the exact motives. Pérez Ledesma was married and lived in west of Mexico City. He was a businessman and entrepreneur and currently dedicated himself to selling computers through platforms as his main source of income. He was in this establishment with 7 other people for a bachelor party to which he was invited, explained General Lamprella. With the deletion of this Mexican, there are now 31 non-migrant foreigners who have passed in various circumstances, of which 2 were murdered. In addition to this Mexican, on February 24th, the American Josue Cardona Palacio, 34, passed in the middle of a fight on Las Palmas Road in El Poblado. Okay, so you're up to date. Again, the numbers are still being manipulated. It's nothing else I can assume but that. Anytime you massage the numbers to include two crimes in one, and that is hallucinogenic narcotics and being scoped, which is it? And again, I see some of the comments, and I haven't caught up with all the comments yet, but I see a lot of comments on this as well. There is just no reason why they should lump these two together. And again, if you're in a fight and one person passes, to me, that's murder as well. Again, I am thinking of the legal concepts that we have in the U.S., of course. So I'm going with that mindset, and I would assume that you are making decisions based on where you're from as well, and the legal system in the country from which you're from. It may be different in Mexico, it may be different in Peru or Ecuador, so we don't know exactly how they perceive things. But I still say politicians are always fudging on the numbers. They want to slight things in a certain direction to make it seem as though it's not that bad, or to direct you to something else. Look over here. Don't pay attention to what's going over here. Look over here. So I believe some of that is going on too. I'm waiting for the mayor to come up with a statement. He's the one person that's been missing. He has been out front on this since he's the Secretary of Security. But where's the mayor? I'm still waiting on an announcement from him, or a speech or something to go over that he's at least acknowledged what's going on. So mayor, where are you? And I will take that video if I can find that video, and put it in English for you. But again, this is the latest update. Again, El Colombianos all over this story. Everybody else, not so much. Again, it's just the basic details. And I guess they said, okay, let's give this to El Colombiano. They got it. So they've taken the ball and run with it. But anyway, you're up to date with this story and news out of Medellin, Colombia, and Colombia as a whole. Remember to travel, but travel safe.
In Medellin, feeling mean, sipping cafecito. Parquet air scene, hottest vibe ain't incognito. Comuna 13, colors bright, mural symphony. Graffiti on city walls, culture rich as history. Watch DC Rob, stay wise, streetwise TV. Keeping tabs on where to roll, news on lock, believe me. Travel but travel safe, life don't hit replay. Street savvy like a king, no risk we convey. Medellin nights, under city lights. Roll with DC Rob, he got the sights. Cultures blend, party never ends. Stay sharp, stay true, we got no pretend. Hustle like New York Marine, never get caught slipping. DC born street smart, worldwide tripping. Latin beats, South streets, rhythm always bumping. Parquet airs, hang tight, massive crowd thumping. Travel like a Marine, ain't no fear. Mad respect for local vibes we revere. Colors bold, stories told, art pure magic. Medellin spirit so infectious, never tragic. Medellin nights, on the city lights. Roll with DC Rob,